In this video, let's talk about the phylum Platyhelminthes. All right, I will enjoin you to make sure you are consistent with these videos that I'm releasing on this classification of animals, as well as seeing their question and answer segments. All right, just so that you can, understand fully the use of all the things that we have been discussing. All right, so let's talk about the phylum Platyhelminthes. The word platyhelminths actually comes from two Greek words, which are platy and helminthes. Okay, so helminth actually means worm, and platy means flat. So they are generally called flat worms. The helminthes means worm, the platy means flat. Okay, so and they are called flatworms because they are dorsoventrally flattened. That is, they are flattened from top to their ventral segments. Okay, so they are dorsoventrally flattened. Okay, or compressed. Now, they are also the first animals in that series of phylum that I gave you. They are the first one to be bilateralians. They are the first one to be bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, so they are bilaterally symmetrical. They are also the first set of animals to be triploblastic, to show triploblasticity, that is, to have the mesoderm, ectoderm, and endoderm. Okay, then that's three body plan. Then they are also acoelomates. Okay, they are not coelomates because they do not have body cavity. So they are acoelomates. Then they have incomplete digestive system, and that is because of the absence of gut. Okay, so they have only one opening. Is that okay? They have only one opening at the head region. Okay, and they are also the first animal to exhibit cephalization. So they also exhibit cephalization. The first to exhibit cephalization. Okay, so there is an opening in the head region. Okay, and that is the only opening in the body. Exactly. All right. Now, how do they perform excretion? I'm going to show you in a jiffy. So we have incomplete digestive system, and that's because they have only a mouth, no anus. I hope that is clear. So they have a ladder-like nervous system. They have a nervous system which consists of a brain. The brain is made up of a network of ganglia that is surrounded by a pharynx. Okay, then we have the phlegm cells or proteinephridia that they use for excretion. So what that means is that they have no circulatory system, and no respiratory system. So the phlegm cell is used for the phlegm cell is used for excretion. The phlegm cell is for excretion. Gaseous exchange is by diffusion. That's what I want to talk about. So that's why there is no circulation, no circulatory or respiratory system. Okay, so they have openings, more like pores, okay, on their body that they use for diffusion. So phlegm cell performs function of excretion, okay, and it is actually called phlegm cells because the structure looks something like it is a ciliated structure that undulates, so that undulation makes it look like the way flames of fire undulate. So now call them flame cells. Okay, they are primitive nephridia. Is that okay? So they look something like this. So if this was the cavity of the a cell rather of the organism, one of the cells of the organism, so So this is a cut out section. Is that okay? This portion is a cut out section. So here you have the nucleus. Here will be the cytoplasm. Okay, this will be the nucleus. Okay, now what you will see is something that looks like this. Okay, so this thing undulates. Okay, undulates. So it regulates the amount of water and salt in the body. Okay, so it is used for osmoregulation. Do you understand? Okay, so so that is the function. So because of that undulation, it contains cilia. Is that okay? Cilia is all around it. Is that okay? So it is ciliated. So the motion of this guy is what makes it to be called flame cells. Okay, then we have gaseous exchange, which is by diffusion. Then they are mostly hermaphrodites. They are mostly hermaphroditic, yes. They are hermaphroditic one, and they also fertilization is internal. They show internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. Okay, and they also show indirect development. Okay, which means that they will undergo, or they will have larval stages here. They have indirect development, internal fertilization, and they are hermaphroditic or bisexual, or they are bisexual. Okay, so even though in most cases they show sexual reproduction, there are some that can reproduce by fragmenting. They basically they have regenerative capacity, and that's what I mentioned here. So they have regeneration ability, and that is the Dugetia. The Dugetia, okay, the Tubularians, primarily planaria. Is that okay? The planaria has high regenerative ability, meaning that if a part of it gets cut off, a new organism can arise from that part that got cut off. Exactly, because they have cells that are pluripotent. They have pluripotent cells. Okay, so that is that. So that is that. Then another name for this flame cell is solenocytes, just in case you come across it. We also call the flame cells solenocytes, okay, and that's what they use for excretion. That's what they use for excretion. So a typical, now they are divided into three classes, and they are mostly parasitic, endoparasitic, okay? These ones are mostly endoparasites. And you see, these first ones are the only free-living, they are free-living platyhelminthes, and usually they are usually found in the freshwater habitats. They are found in freshwater. So, but the bipalium is a land flatworm. A land flatworm. Okay, the tubularians are free living. Okay, the tubularians are free living. They are non-parasitic. Then trematodes and cestodes are parasitic. The trematodes are called the flukes. Okay, so we have the liver fluke, the fasciola hepatica. We also have schistosoma. So the fasciola and schistosoma, they show now. They are endoparasites, and they show they have two hosts. Okay, they have two hosts. There's one that is called the intermediate host, and there's one that is called the primary host. Okay, so the intermediate host, for example, of fasciola is intermediate host is a snail, but the primary host is a sheep. Okay, so they show this endoparasitic life. Okay, they are said to be polyxenous. Okay, monoxenous is one host, and polyxenous is many hosts, multiple hosts. So cestodes are also endoparasitic, okay. And here, what I wanted to remember is also that they are digenetic. They are said to be digenetic, okay. They are said to be digenetic. Here, digenetic. So we call them digenetic trematodes. Even though we have monogeneans, okay, that have only one host, but trematodes are primarily or generally digenetic. Then the cestodes are the tenaciolium or tapeworm, the tapeworm of man, okay. We have tenaciolium and tenace saginata, tapeworm of man and pig. Then I also have the diphyllobothrium. The diphyllobothrium is the tapeworm of fish, okay? And it's also is an endoparasite, okay? If you want to know about it, I've released a video on it in my other channel, so you can do well to see that. Also, now the tapeworm has a typical structure that looks like this, or a structure that typically looks like this. All like this. So now this whole part of this thing from this head segment, we call it the scolex. The scolex. Then this is the neck. Then the rest we call the proglottids. The proglottids. Now listen to this. You see, these proglottids that are at the beginning here, they are called the immature proglottids. They are immature. Then the ones that come later are the mature ones. So as the proglottids break apart, they are gravid. Is that okay? Gravid means they are sexually mature rather, and they can, give rise to the new organism. Okay. That is so that's the function of the proglottids. It's just they are just segments of this. We already said that this guy shows false metamerism. So they show false. So we said they exhibit cephalization and they show false metamerism. Why is it false metamerism? Because the segmentation is only external, it's not internal, so it is false. So proglottids, the one that begin, are called the immature proglottids, and the one that we see later are the mature proglottids. Okay, so that's it for the class. The unique characteristics include absence of a gut, regenerative capacity that is exclusive, that is most is characteristic of turbellarians, and they are flame cells and ladder-like nervous systems. So those are their unique characteristics. All right, see you in the next video where I will discuss the question and answer section of this. By the grace of God, I should be able to link it under this video when I'm done with it. God bless you. Subscribe to the channel as well.